Hi, it's Cheryl back with you from Farmhouse Frugally. Thanks for joining me. This week I had a home decor sale. I filled a bunch of stuff that I have created on this channel over the past 6 months or so in a tent, and I just had a good time in the beautiful weather, meeting some people, sold those tables right away. And the thing I would say was my best seller, if you remember the gold leaf antique mirror that I made, here it is, just a corner of it. I will link the video here below so you can see that if you missed it. And today I have 3 flips for you. The first one is this cute little caddy that I, believe it or not, made when I was a freshman in high school. I thought about having my husband cut the little top there off, and I may still do that in the future. Took the knobs off to clean it up here. I noticed it had a good gouge in it, so I filled that. And then I am trying out this new paint. This color is Snow White by Shabby Paints. It is a chalk paint, and I have to be honest with you and tell you straight up front, I don't think it's worth the money. I found that it was a little bit clumpy, even though I stirred it over and over again very well. And I found that it did not have amazing coverage. In fact, it took me 4 full coats to cover this. And I have to say that the Rust-Oleum chalked paint that I use all the time would have done it in 2.5. And so for the money, I can get probably 3 times as much of the Rust-Oleum chalked paint, and I think the quality of that one is actually just simply better. So that's my opinion of it. Certainly you should try it for yourself if you like, and see what you think of it. I'd like to know your opinion of it. And anyway, when I was finally finished, I had to keep waiting, obviously, for this to thoroughly dry so that I could keep adding on the next layer and the next layer. I took out my blue ink and the IOD stamp pad. I want to say pots, but I don't remember exactly. It has the marmalade and all the other little mustards and other crockery stamps. There you go. And I put each different one on each of the drawer fronts. And my kitchen has blue and white in it, so I thought that would be cute to keep tea or just little things in there in my kitchen. And I love this ink. It goes on so well, and I love the blue. I know oftentimes you'll see people do blacks and browns and everything, but I really just enjoy using this blue ink. Now, I went ahead and I stamped the top of the caddy upside down. So while I'm waiting, I cleaned that off, and I am going to have to paint that again real quick. I just took the ink pad, and instead of sand distressing, I just ink distressed because I wanted the blue ink to show instead of the actual wood. And then I went back and painted over the mess I made with the upside down ink. If you are using these IOD stamps, it's very easy to get these upside down. I have to be honest, this is not the first time that I have done that. You think I would have learned my lesson the first time, but I didn't. Now, once I get that completely done and inked, then I am going to have to cover over this with a clear wax or a polyurethane, because otherwise it can be reactivated with water. So I got that whole thing ink distressed on the edges, painted the top, re-stamped correct side up on the front, and then I went ahead and used the clear wax over the whole thing. And once that I just let that clear wax stay on there for a couple minutes, and then went ahead and wiped that back with a cloth. I should have waited a little bit longer on the first drawer to dry the ink. Another minute would have made all the difference. And so I did get a little bit of blue ink across that and had to go over that a couple of times. The nice thing about clear wax is it sort of acts as an eraser. So if you do put too much like dark antiquing wax or colored wax on, you can oftentimes somewhat erase that with this clear wax. And then went to put the drawers in, and because I had to put 4 coats of paint on this, even though I had only put 1 coat on the far inside, I did have to sand the sides of the drawers and bottom of the drawers to get them back in and have them slide smoothly. You can see here going, okay, this isn't fitting. Nope, it's not fitting in this one either. And so that was a little extra work. Here it is again when I made that many years ago. And here it is updated today. I use the same knob because I think they're adorable. And it goes with the rest of my kitchen. So let me know what you think of that. That takes me on to item number 2. That is this really cute antique side table that unfortunately had a broken rail along the edge as well as a huge stain and ruined veneer in the middle. And we sanded and we sanded and we attempted to get that cleaned it all off and everything, but could not even, you can't bleach it. You couldn't, just couldn't get that out. So unfortunately, instead of staining the top, I ended up having to paint the top. This is a custom color that I made in a pale green because I wanted it to match a couple of other items that I had for sale. So I did go and give this 2 full coats of this is a chalked paint, and I'm trying to recall, I don't recall what brand this is. I believe it is the Annie Sloan White mixed with some of the deeper green that I had from a different company. Now, once I get this completely finished, go around the edges, and once I was done, I just took a wet rag and went around a few times and just wiped the excess paint off. Now I took that outside and sprayed that once the paint was dry with a 2 times matte finish Rust-Oleum poly finish because I wanted to add a little couple of transfers on the center of this, and it is always better, unless you want to wait a week for the paint to cure, to give that a good coat of either a polyurethane or some kind of a finish. And then once I got that finished, I used this little bits and pieces I had left from that IOD Whispering Willow transfers. And then I just went ahead and added them here and there on the top of the table to give that a little bit more interest, and then finished it again with the spray finish. And here it is. I like the way the spring green looks with the deep brown of the base, the wooden base. So, and I like it with the other magnolia pieces. So let me know what you think of this. I wish it had the edge. And then once I was finished with that, that takes me on to item number 3. This is a marrying of 2 separate pieces. We had this tabletop that was very scratched up, but solid wood. And it was originally on this very chunky base, which I did not love. And we sanded that down, and it looked like it was wood. It has a nice grain, and we wanted to keep it natural. Thought it would be very beautiful to have a natural colored top. And so we got the scratches out, and I found out that it looked a little odd, so I started to give it a little bit of antiquing wax, and you can see where there's this one spot that just won't take it. And then I tried again with a gel stain, same thing. So upon closer examination, we found that the edge of the table is solid and the center is more of a fiberboard. So I took this Annie Sloan chalked paint in pure white, and I added a touch of Java colored brown paint to give it a little more of an antique color. And I painted a base of another table that I got at the dump, and I like this so much better. The center, I just used the Java brown, and I was hoping it would mimic that look of leather that you used to see on old desks and such, and gave it 4 or 5 good coats of the Rust-Oleum matte finish, and I absolutely love the way it came out. I would have preferred it, of course, if my original design would have worked, but this is not a bad second choice. Let me know what you think, which was your favorite, and I will see you in the next one. Thanks for stopping by.